Well, this is going to be fun. We are joined by UK basketball legend Kyle Macy and co-writer Dr. John Huang as they travel throughout the Commonwealth for a multi-city book tour. The book is called From the Rafters of Rupp.
All right, thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
What was the inspiration? Was there like a certain moment that decided that you were going to get involved in writing a book?
Well, you know, it came about, I was doing some broadcasting, and the old saying that one door closes, another opens. So one door closed, and I still wanted to work on my interviewing skills and those type of things. So came up with the idea. I know how much Kentucky fans love Kentucky basketball. And so came up with the idea of interviewing all the former players that have their jerseys retired and hanging from the rafters of Rupp. So we did put a lot of money into the research for a title for the book and came up with From the Rafters of Rupp.
So in the book you can expect the answers to your interview questions throughout.
Yeah. Well, it's more just the players themselves telling their story. And in doing so, then you kind of get a feel, or you get to know the tradition and history of Kentucky basketball. And that's the fans really are what makes Kentucky basketball. There's a lot of great players that have been in the uniform through the years, but players are all across the country. But what separates Kentucky is the fan base. And so for them, I knew they'd have an interest to hear about the individual player themselves telling the story as opposed to a third person recalling the different instances.
Dr. Huang, if you weren't part of BBN prior to meeting Kyle, I imagine you are now.
I am a diehard Kentucky basketball fan. I've been one for about 50 years. So
Wow.
I actually need you to pinch me, because for me to be sitting here with the great Kyle Macy, the co-author of this book, I would have told you you were absolutely nuts back in the day.
What was the partnership? What was it like working together?
I really hated it.
We don't talk to each other anymore.
You're forced to be here.
No, John's a great guy, and like you said, he's a big Kentucky fan. So it was, you know, we had a lot of back and forth. And
One of the first things Kyle told me when we met was, not only was he an All-American on the court, but he was an academic All-American.
I don't know if I told him
he could write. He can write, and normally a co-author writes a big portion of the book, but Kyle did all of the introductory parts to all these player interviews.
Kyle, I know that...
Well, excuse me, but yeah, there's kind of a bond you have with other former players, and so to introduce each player just correlated, you know, something that I had in common with them or something that I'd been through with them to kind of lead us into their comments.
I know that Joe B. Hall has a special place in a lot of Wildcats fans' hearts. Is there a particular story that you relay in this book that maybe the most avid UK basketball fan may not have heard?
I don't know if they haven't heard it, because I try to tell it as much as I can, but another one that's not in the book, but how Coach Hall just, even though he was so serious and so disciplined, and his team was always disciplined, you know, we talked about as players, we never knew he could smile until after we graduated, because he was always on top of us trying to make us better players, which was great. But he also looked at it as his family, because he had such pride, you know, having been a former player. I remember one time when I was sitting out the year when I transferred, long before the transfer portal. I was sick. I don't know if I got bad food or whatever, but the team was on the road, so he called his wife to come over and had me move into their guest room, because I couldn't get out of bed. Just, you know, the care, and he always concerned about every player, not just the starters.
Wow.
And real quick, as you tour for this book tour, what is it like to reconnect with Big Blue Nation in a different sense?
It's great. I mean, that's the thing I think I like the most, is getting back out across the state. You know, when I was in school, we did the blue-white games where you could travel in the state and play and see all the fans. After I graduated, we barnstormed across the state and saw all the fans. So to get back out, I mean, I was in Corbin yesterday, had a great turnout. Be in London and Danville tomorrow, and then start heading west through the other spots. So it's been a lot of fun.
We only have about 10 seconds left. Real quick, what are your early impressions of Mark Pope one season into his tenure?
Had a good year last year, and I think it's going to just get better and better. I like the fact that he's been in the program. He knows what he got into. So
that's great.
I'm sure you're enjoying your new portion of Big Blue Nation as well, your new role in it.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I'm living the dream right now.
Can we get somebody over here to pinch him? Is that possible?
can we hit him? No.
Thank you guys for coming in. Best of luck with the book. I know a lot of people are going to want to read it. Sounds like it's filled with great stories.
We'll be right back with what's trending after the break.
You're watching Fox 56 News. Our home, your news.